If you've already watched 3 videos about moving to Dayton or relocating to Dayton and you think, I still don't know where in this metro area I actually want to live, it's really not your fault, because most of those videos actually talk about Dayton like it's just one single place, and really it isn't. I've lived here my entire life. This metro area actually stretches around 30 miles from all the way to the top all the way to the bottom, and where you land, it actually changes what your commute is like, what your taxes are like, what your family's life is like, where your kids go to school, obviously, and what your home's resale value is going to be like. I'm David Moyer. I'm with Keller Williams Advisors Real Estate in Dayton, Ohio, and I sell homes all over the metro area every single week. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to draw you a map. I'm going to take you up north, south, east, and west, what each direction actually gets you, what each direction actually costs you, and what each one puts within each weekend trip, where you can take your family, where you can take the kids, where you and your friends can get in the car on a weekend and just go have a really good time once you move to the area. By the end of it, you'll know which direction puts you first on your house hunting trip once you get here, and you'll have a list of the follow-up questions that will save you a lot of wasted time over the weekend. Before I show you the 4 directions, you have to understand the geography that defines this metro area, because once you see it, the rest of this video makes complete sense. There are 2 major interstates that make up what we would call the center of gravity here for the greater Dayton area or the Miami Valley. I-75 runs north and south through the middle of downtown Dayton. I-70 runs east and west on the north side of downtown Dayton through the metro area. They cross through around the Vandalia area, right next to the Dayton International Airport, roughly around 8 miles north of downtown Dayton. Most of the metro Dayton area sits south of that intersection. When people say Dayton suburbs, typically that's what they're really referring to is the south metro area. There are suburbs that are north of the interstate area, and we're going to talk about that. But typically when someone says the Dayton suburbs, they're talking about the areas south of I-70. This matters because it means your direction of choice doesn't just decide your commute. It decides which interstates you get out of town faster, which airport gate you're closest to, and which other major city you go to on the weekend if you're looking for a short little getaway. Now let me walk you through exactly which 4 directions, starting with the one most people land in, and that's the south. Each direction has its own market with its own buyer profile, and there's a right direction for almost every single family and its own buyer, and there's also a wrong direction. And this is where I do a majority of my work is south of town. That's where you find Oakwood, Kettering, Centerville, Bellbrook, Springboro, Lebanon, Miamisburg, Germantown, Waynesville, and a median home value price, for instance, in Centerville, you're looking right around $355,000. In Kettering, you're looking right around $268,000. Oakwood around $382,000, and that goes up and up from there. Now, in terms of the school records as well, these are all based off of the Ohio school report cards. You can find the link below in the description. Centerville and Bellbrook in this area have the highest rating, as well as Oakwood. Those are a 5 out of 5 star rating according to the Ohio report card. Coming in after that, you have your Beavercreek, which is around a 4.5. Kettering, right around a 4 as well. You also have historically a stronger appreciation value in the southern district here south of town. And that's important to know, especially if you're looking to move here and maybe you're relocating to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and you're only going to be here for 4 or 5 years. Appreciation is going to be something you're going to want to take into consideration, obviously. Now, some of the trade-offs if you're moving into the area, because there are trade-offs every time you move to a different location, and that is going to be the higher prices moving south of town. It's not going to fit everybody's budgets, obviously. The inventory is always going to be a lot tighter in the area because the competition is always going to be a lot tighter. And it's also going to be the area where you're going to find more often than not multiple offer situations. And that has been consistent ever since 2021. What who's this right for? It's right for a lot of families who plan to stay over 5 years typically. If school is a priority for you, south of town buyers, this is going to be the place that you're really going to excel. And anyone who wants the strong profitability and the home values holding up extremely well over the years they stay here, this is really going to be a good place for you to consider. But on the flip side of that, who is this wrong for? If you're somebody just getting into the market and you're extremely budget conscious, this may not be the area that you want to necessarily consider. I'm not saying completely rule it out, but if you are on an extremely tight budget and you are under $250,000, your options are going to be a lot more limited in this part of town compared to others that we're going to talk about after this. If you're also allergic to bidding situations, if the idea of going into the market and having to compete for a home against 4 other competitors and 4 other buyers just really turns you off, this may not be the situation for you. And anyone that needs a short commute to the Dayton Airport or anything like that, or if you have to get downtown on a regular basis, or if you fly out on a regular basis for work, this may not be the best situation for you as well. Now, let's talk about what it's like to live north of I-70. All right, so now we're heading north of town. We're heading north of I-70, and what we're looking at now is the areas such as Englewood, Clayton, Huber Heights, and Tipp City and Troy. For instance, Englewood is around a median price point of $257,000. So that's a much easier entry point for a lot of our buyers, even our first-time home buyers. Huber Heights as well. We've talked about this before. Huber Heights is the brick ranch capital of the world. This is where you're going to find a lot of those entry-level priced homes. The average priced home right now in Huber Heights is $235,000. So that makes a great place for you to get into the market. Also, Tipp City. I like the name Tipp City. That is right around $335,000 in terms of the median sale price in that area. What's nice about living in this area, especially if you're a commuter and need to get to the airport on a regular basis, it's extremely close to Vandalia. Getting to the airport is just minutes away every single time, and it's the closest you can get to I-70. If you need to get to Columbus all the way out to the east, or if you need to get to Indianapolis all the way out to the west, it's extremely easy to get there by hopping onto I-70 from any of these locations. Also, some of the trade-offs though, the schools are solid. For instance, Tipp City and parts of Vandalia, but on average, they're not the same as areas such as Centerville or Beavercreek, which we're going to talk a little bit more in depth here in just a moment. But like I said before, who's this right for? If you're a little bit more budget conscious and you're really looking for that entry-level home, this is going to be a great place for you. If you're a frequent traveler, if you're a frequent flyer, this is definitely going to be a place for you because you're going to be able to come and go as often as you like from the Dayton Airport. Trust me, I do it all the time when I go to these real estate conferences, and it is a breeze to go to the Dayton Airport and to come from the Dayton Airport. Security checkpoints, minutes compared to anywhere else you can go. And if you're looking at something like new construction, families that want that, there's lower priced new construction options in these areas as well. There's a lot of options up north of Dayton. Also, if you're military families and you're wanting something that has an easy commute to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base as well, this is a great option easily through Route 4. Now, who is this wrong for? Anchoring families that are looking for school districts that are really strong in the metro area, or buyers that are looking for really strong appreciation rates in a short amount of time. This isn't necessarily going to be the right fit for you. So maybe what you're going to look for is something south of town or maybe east of town. And that's what we're going to talk about next. Let's talk about what it's like to travel east now. Going into areas like Beavercreek and Fairborn and Xenia, this is a great option, and obviously I'm talking about our veterans and our military personnel that come into the area for Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. This is one of the first places they actually look. Beavercreek is right there, and Fairborn is right there. In Beavercreek, the prices start and the average price point is right around $332,000 and up. You also have areas like Xenia and Fairborn with a little bit lower price point as well. And what's really nice there too is you have a broad spectrum of new construction price points that anybody can really get into, all the way from the entry-level buyer all the way up to the luxury home buyer. If you're looking to move to the area and you're only going to be here for a short period of time because you're located on the base and you're PCSing to the area, new construction is a great option for you. You can actually build something new construction and keep it after you PCS somewhere else and keep it as a rental for income-producing properties on down the road. Like I said, this is closest to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which is great. Beavercreek has great options to Gate 12A, and Fairborn has great options to Gate 1B. You're also really close to Yellow Springs. If you've never heard of Yellow Springs, I definitely encourage you to come to Dayton, Ohio, and spend an afternoon in Yellow Springs, Ohio. It's one of our best kept secrets. It's about a 30-minute drive to one of the most charming small towns you will ever go to. I promise you, it's full of tons of art, restaurants, Glen Helen Nature Preserve, and some of the best kept secrets we have here. It will help you unwind unlike anywhere else in the state of Ohio. It's also extremely close to driving to Columbus. You're very close to getting onto I-70 here as well. And you also have some trade-offs like I've talked about with all the other areas. Beavercreek pricing has gone up significantly over the past 5 to 10 years. And that's because of the housing demand and the base that continues to drive people to the area. Some people from the outside are continuing to move into the Beavercreek area. The more that the new construction builds up, the less land that's available, the more the housing prices will continue to go up. If you're looking to move into the area and you're coming here looking to build, I definitely suggest you get here sooner than later. Who's it right for? Patterson Air Force Base families, weekend hikers, anyone who wants easy access to Columbus for the weekends. Who's it wrong for? If you don't have any sort of military ties or anything like that, and you want something that is off the beaten path or something that's going to appreciate quickly, this is a good option for you, but you're going to be surrounded by a lot of military people, and if that's just not for you, and if you want somebody that's going to be there all the time, a lot of people come and go from Beavercreek, so you may have neighbors that are coming and going every couple of years. And if that's not something you're accustomed to, Beavercreek may not be for you. With that in mind, let's talk about what happens west of Dayton. When you're traveling west of Dayton, you're actually getting pretty rural pretty quickly, but two of the areas you're going to travel through first is going to be Trotwood, Clayton, and Englewood. My family came from Brookville and the Eaton area, a lot of the farming territory out there. Once you get out to the west of Dayton and you go through Trotwood and you go through Englewood, you're going to find a lot of farming territory. There's going to be a lot of new construction area that have a lot of potential for you. You're going to find a lot of entry-level housing. In the Englewood and Clayton area, the average price of a home right now is right around $257,000. Now we're back into that entry-level position again. If you're looking for a first-time home buyer situation, or if you're looking for something affordable that you can stay in for the next 4 years, Englewood is going to be a great option for you. There's great access to some fantastic restaurants. There's also some great culture over there. Englewood is really considered a mid-century modern mecca as well in that part of Dayton. There are some really small pockets over there with some great homes that were built in the late 40s, early 50s. Like I said, generally some lower price points than what you're going to find on the south or in the east, but this is also going to give you the closest access you can get to Indianapolis. Indianapolis from the Clayton area, Englewood, it's about 100 to 104 miles, just under about 2 hours. Now, some of the trade-offs you're going to get there, the school options are a little bit more uneven. They're not straight across the board in terms of their reliability or in terms of their report cards. Once again, I definitely encourage you to go to the Ohio report cards. They are publicly available. You can check exactly how they rank and how they rank compared to other school systems. Who's this right for? This is right for the buyers who already know the area. If you're bargain driven, if you're looking for that great deal, if you're looking for that fixer-upper maybe even, this is a great option for you. If you're willing to do your homework, and if you have great Indianapolis ties or you want that easy access, this is a great option for you as well. Who is this maybe not right for? It's a relocation buyer that doesn't have local guidance or school priority families. What I'm saying is talk to somebody that knows the area. I know this area. I grew up around this area and have family out there, so I can walk you through this area and show you the benefits of living out there. But if you just go out there based off of price alone and have no idea what the locations, you may not end up in an area that you wanted to be in with access to the things you thought you were getting. With that in mind, here's the part that actually changes how you think about Dayton. And it's the one thing I wish more people understood before they actually moved here. Trust me, this gets interesting. Dayton is literally the crossroads of the Midwest. I talked about 75 running north and south and I-70 east to west, so it is literally the crossroads of the Midwest. So here's where you can go. Cincinnati is about 48 to 60 miles south of Dayton. It's about an hour's drive. In Cincinnati, count it with me now, you have the Reds, you have the Bengals, you have FC Cincinnati, you have the riverfront, you also have another international airport, CVG. It's the Cincinnati Airport, but if you've ever been to CVG Airport, it's not in Cincinnati, it's actually in northern Kentucky. If you live south of Dayton, Cincinnati is actually closer than going to North Dayton in some instances. Columbus, like I said before, it's about 65 to 70 miles east on I-70, so about an hour and 15 minutes of downtown Dayton. There you have your Ohio State football, you have the Capitol building, and you have an enormous food scene. If you're a foodie and you love food festivals, if you love any kind of festival whatsoever, having easy access to Columbus on a regular basis or anytime you want is a really valuable asset to have. Indianapolis, we talked about that as well. It's about 100 to 105 miles to the west of downtown Dayton. You take I-70, you have the Pacers, you have the Colts, you have the Indianapolis 500. If you live north or west of Dayton, Indy is in range for a Saturday afternoon. You can go and come back or spend the night and come back the very next morning. Louisville is only about 113 miles away. It's about a 2.5 hour drive. That's Bourbon Trail country. Now we're talking Kentucky. If you're also a college basketball fan, and if you live in Dayton, you're going to be a college basketball fan. We have the University of Dayton here. We have the Flyers. You're going to be a college basketball fan also, so why not be a Louisville basketball fan as well? And you have easy access to that. We've also talked about Yellow Springs. It's about 20 miles east of here, 30 minutes from most of the metro area. That's a day trip once again on a Sunday. You have Hocking Hills, which is about 80 miles east. It's about an hour and a half's drive. That is the best hiking in Ohio, and dare I say the best hiking in the Midwest. Amazing waterfalls, fantastic lodging. You can tent camp, you can stay in cabins. There are day spas, there are hotels, there are restaurants. There are experiences that will make you feel like you're in a completely different country. Dayton International Airport, like I said, that's right there where I-70 and I-75 intersect. Northside residents are about 10 to 15 minutes away. Southside residents are about 25 to 35 minutes away. The takeaway here is if you have a job in Dayton just because the cost of living and you also love road trips and city weekends and all of that, you didn't just move here because you relocated here and your job brought you here and that's why you moved here. You moved here because Dayton is now your launch pad for an adventure in the Midwest unlike anywhere else in the country. And I truly mean that. I grew up here in Dayton and everyone says, David, why didn't you move? You could have sold real estate anywhere in the country, and I really could have. But I chose to stay here in Dayton, Ohio, because I, first of all, love this city. I love the culture, I love the history, I love the people. It's a big city with small town values. It's like having a family everywhere I go. But I also love the fact that if I want to go to Cincinnati and I want to see the Bengals, I want to see the Reds, I want to see a concert, I just want to go to a festival, I can do that. I want to go to Columbus and go to a festival or just spend the afternoon downtown, do some shopping, I can do that. I can go to Indianapolis. I have these huge metro cities at my fingertips anytime I want. You can't find that anywhere else. Like I always do, here are the top 5 questions I get from people moving outside the area when they want to relocate here and they just have these burning questions. Here are the top 5 things they want to know about Dayton. The first question is, do I have to live in the suburbs or is the city itself a good place to live? Of course, the city has neighborhoods that are excellent. There's the Oregon District, there's South Park, there's Grafton Hill, you name it. And neighborhoods that are maybe not your cup of tea. The city overall is slower in resale and is more variable and from block to block. But most of my relocation buyers end up in the suburbs just because their value per dollar is a little bit higher and the school question is a little bit simpler. But if school isn't everything to you and you want that walkable urban living, the Oregon District or South Park or St. Anne's Hill, for instance, or everything like that, downtown is great. Downtown is vibrant. We have a riverfront district. We have a very vibrant arts district. We have a brewery district. We have a nightlife downtown. There's a lot to say about downtown Dayton and its history, and if you want to be part of it, then I definitely encourage you to dive in and be a part of it. The second question, which direction has the best schools? Now, I've talked about the report cards and everything, so I don't want to say best schools, but on average, the South, such as Centerville and the Bellbrook districts, they tend to have the strongest, and that's just based off the Ohio report cards. That's not my opinion. Beavercreek is coming in close there as well, and Tipp City and parts of Vandalia, they also hold their own, and of course Oakwood, which is just south of downtown Dayton, always remains top tier. There's pockets of great schools in either direction, no matter where you go. There's no direction where every single district is going to be great or there's going to be bad school districts. I would just say root them out, go on to the Ohio School District's report card, check them out for yourself. You're going to find a great one no matter which direction you go. This is always a great one. Where will my home hold value up best? Recent data actually favors south of Dayton. We've said that throughout this entire video, with Oakwood up about 8.5% year over year. Kettering's up about 6.8%, but the south is also where you pay the most when you're going in. That's where you have a lot of your higher taxes and everything like that. Some of the best long-term plays might actually be in the up-and-coming areas like north, or if you choose a really careful area in the east neighborhoods where the price to quality ratio still has some room to grow. You get a lot in the south, but you're going to pay a lot as you live there. A good idea might be to actually look for the areas that have a very promising future or are on the big upswing right now. Question 4, I work at Wright-Patterson. Does that change everything? And short answer, I guess yes. The Eastside wins majority of the time for my Wright-Patterson relocation PCSers here for most of the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base roles. Particular Beavercreek for Area A commuters. The north area also works really well because of Route 4. I actually have a more detailed video specifically for PCS families that are coming to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. You can check that out on my channel. I'm always happy to answer more questions about that as well. You can reach out to me, DM me, leave a comment below. I'll reach out to you as well. Find the link in my bio. I have a specific guide for my PCSers. I'm more than happy to help you out with that. And this is a really great one. Is Dayton actually cheaper than living in Cincinnati or Columbus, or is that just all talk? Materially cheaper. The metro Dayton area, it's around 25 to 29% below the national average cost of living index, if you can actually believe it. Single family median pricing in our suburbs is around $250,000. That's on average, across the board, nothing specific. Cincinnati and Columbus, those suburbs at the same school quality run, significantly higher than that. Yeah, it is more cost effective, but not cheaper. I wouldn't use the word cheaper. If you're sitting here with a direction in mind, whether it be north, south, east, west, or just Dayton in general, and you want a second pair of eyes on it just to verify what you're thinking is the right path, or you want a second opinion, here's what I would probably recommend doing next. First of all, if this is your first time to my channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Secondly, you can go to davidmoyer.com. You can also go to the link in my bio and you can book a no obligation 35, 40 minute, whatever you want consultation call, either over the phone, a Google Meet, whichever you prefer. And tell me which direction you're thinking about going and what you're learning from this video or what you're learning just from looking online. And we can talk about how to optimize that for you. And I'll tell you within that call whether your direction is the right one for your life and what you're considering, and we'll try and build something upon that. And I'll talk to you a little bit about what's currently happening in the market, what's happening in your price point here in the greater Dayton area, and maybe which 2 or 3 communities you should first drive through when maybe you're just touching down here at the Dayton International Airport before you ever fly out again to fly home. Once again, my name's David Moyer with Keller Williams Advisors Real Estate. I'm your friend in Dayton real estate here in the Miami Valley, and I appreciate you checking out this video. Hopefully you got something of value. That's what I'm here for, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Thanks so much.